Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear is one of the most disturbing crossovers in modern political history because Letitia James just got connected to Biden's pandemic blacklist. Yeah, folks, it's all coming out. The pandemic wasn't just a health crisis. It was used as a weapon. We all suspected this. A digital leash wrapped around every single American who dared to speak out. And thanks to Tulsi Gabbard, we now have proof. So here's the twist that nobody saw coming, though. One of the loudest voices against President Trump was New York Attorney General Letitia James. The same woman who weaponized the courts against political enemies is now being named in connection to mortgage fraud probe and possibly a whole lot more. And if you thought that this was just about some signature on a power of attorney form, well, just wait until you see what else ties Letitia James back to Biden's surveillance state. And in just a minute, I'm going to share with you guys how the same agencies that targeted parents, pastors, and frontline workers, they're now scrambling to cover their tracks, and why Letitia James may be the key to unraveling all of this. So buckle up, guys, because we're about to get started as this declassified document drops is now blowing the lid off of two of the most powerful institutions in America right now, the surveillance state and the real estate racket. Now, if you guys appreciate the daily news updates, please hit the like button and subscribe. Now, let's go ahead and start where this story explodes, okay? The Biden administration's illegal jab blacklist. This was not just about public health. Tulsi Gabbard declassified the internal memos, and what they reveal, it is chilling nonetheless. Basically, they created a terror watch list for Americans who disagreed with vaccine mandates, mask mandates, even school board policies. Now, if you criticized Biden's pandemic policies, you could have been flagged as a domestic violent extremist. Now, let that sink in, guys. Right alongside actual threats to national security. And yes, gets even worse because buried inside of these same documents, connections start pointing toward political operatives, Letitia James included, whose behavior and alleged fraud, all of a sudden, they make a lot more sense when they're viewed through the lens of weaponized federal power. And now the FHFA, the Federal Housing Agency, they're formally recommending criminal investigation into Letitia James for potential mortgage fraud. So not only did she allegedly lie about being a Virginia resident on a power of attorney form, but that signature may have allowed her to secure better loan terms while presenting herself as someone else entirely. She says it was a mistake. Anybody believe Letitia James? But the housing director said what we're all thinking. When we see mortgage fraud, we act. We don't care if you're a lawyer or a politician. No one is above the law, right? Now, before I go any further, guys, be sure to hit the like button so that more people can see what is really happening. And if you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck while politicians play games with the economy, take action right now. Join our Liberty Pursuit Network down below, or check out the Paycheck to Paycheck Elimination Program down below. Link in the description. Now that we've actually cracked down and cracked open this whole surveillance state and exposed the legal heat on Letitia James, I want to get into how this actually affects you directly. Starting with President Trump's bold new tariffs, what they're going to do to your wallet. Man, I want you to keep watching because I'm about to break down how President Trump's new 10% plus tariffs are going to hit your grocery bill. They're expected to shake the markets and open the door for a total economic reset, but also a rare investing opportunity that most people are going to miss. And you know what's wild here, guys? Most people never see all the Medicare benefits that they qualify. Lisa Taylor did, and now she saves $1,000 a year. Sharon Bertusik, she was dropped from her Medicare, and Chapter got her back on a plan with $0 premiums, free, $0 meds, and now her copay is reduced from $89 to $20. Guys, your benefits are out there. You just need somebody to help unpack them for you. So give our friends over at Chapter a call at 909-563-8279, or better yet, hit them up on the web at askchapter.org/Ron. Chapter makes everything easy. Now, while the media is drowning you in these distractions, here's what they're not covering. President Trump just signed off on a massive tariff overhaul. Okay. This is one that could reset the global trade board and hit your wallet immediately. Now, let's be clear, guys. Every single import from any country is now getting slapped with at least a 10% tariff. Now, you think your grocery bill is bad now? Just wait, because this isn't just about Chinese electronics or South Korean cars. This hits your food, your clothing, your baby formula, your gas can. Now, this may actually start to cost more. And now, of course, it's expected to only be temporary. But if you're wondering why that gallon of milk or frozen chicken just jumped again, it's not because some weather crisis. It's because the tariffs ripple through the entire supply chain. Containers that used to land cheap in California or New York are now tacked on with fees. And the companies, well, of course, they're going to pass the cost directly on to the consumers. That's me and you. Now, some businesses will absorb the blow. Others, they'll cut jobs, maybe raise prices, move operations. That's the reality when China, Vietnam, Austria, and South Africa start losing their privileged access to American buyers. But here's a twist you didn't expect. The same moves that threaten to crush the middle class in the short term could be the very thing that rebuilds America's economy in the long term. Now, I want to go ahead and cover the major winners and losers and how you can protect yourself in just a minute. But first, if you're sick of watching these elites get richer while you scramble to survive, now's the time to fight back. Hit the like button, subscribe for more daily news, uncensored updates. And if you want to stay out of the rat race, get my training down below. Stop living paycheck to paycheck now, guys. Or you can, of course, join our private community, the Liberty Pursuit Network, where Americans just like you are building side hustles, saving smarter, and unplugging from this broken economy. There's no need to go at it alone, guys. You're not crazy. You're just awake. Now, I need to break down how this economic storm may actually open up a door. Yes, a door to revive American factories, reawaken long dead industries, and give you the investing opportunity of a lifetime. Meanwhile, the media is screaming collapse, because what's coming next could change your financial future forever. Now, let's talk about these tariffs, guys. They don't just hit your wallet. Think about it. The tariffs, they go beyond just hitting your wallet. They hit the backbone of American business, and the effects are already starting to burn. Across the country, companies they're essentially staring down like this shrinking profit margin, the rising costs and the growing uncertainty. We're all seeing it. And when the profits shrink, do you know what happens next? Well, some of these companies are going to be forced to cut jobs. Others are going to jack up the prices, and some will simply shut their doors. And if you think that this is only happening to small shops, think again, guys. This is shaking the bones of supply chains from China to South Africa to Austria. This is the exact pressure Trump wants to apply to force companies to bring jobs and manufacturing back home to America. But make no mistake, in the short term, the pain will be real and it will be felt. And the ones that are getting hit first, well, working Americans, middle-class families, you, right? And Wall Street, they're not liking it. So right after Trump's initial tariff announcement, the markets did what Wall Street always does when the game changes. They panicked. Traders dumped shares. The media declared economic doom. But let me tell you something. Panic is not a strategy. For those of us who are paying attention, this is where legacies are built. You don't run from the fire. You look for what's undervalued. You look for American companies that are poised to grow when the smoke clears. And this isn't the end. This is the reshuffling of the deck. And if you sit out now, scared and reactive, you're probably going to miss one of the biggest wealth transfers of our lifetime. And so this is why I teach what I teach. You know, if you're tired of getting caught off guard, if you're done being the last to know and the first to hurt, join us. Join us over in our Liberty Pursuit Network, link in the description down below. Or you can start my free training program, Stop Living Paycheck to Paycheck Now, We're not victims of the system. We're just building a way out of it together. Okay. Now, what I'm about to share with you guys, I want to show you how all of this ties into President Trump's master plan to revive American manufacturing, collect up to $600 billion in new revenue, and shift the tax burden off your back, and maybe, just maybe, even spark the comeback that we've all been waiting for. Now, if you think that this is just about the markets and mortgages, you really haven't seen anything yet. So stick with me, guys. Now, look, we've talked about the pain. We talked about the panic. But here's what the mainstream media won't say. It's basically, this might be exactly what we needed. I mean, think about it. For decades, presidents made promises about bringing jobs back, but they never delivered. President Trump, though, he's not just promising. He is breaking the global trade system wide open and rebuilding American industry from the ground up. So, I mean, think Apple, think Meta, think Eli Lilly, think Nvidia, Oracle, Hyundai, Nissan. Guys, Apple's pledging to manufacture in the United States. Meta's building data centers here. TSMC, OpenAI, Oracle, even foreign automakers like Hyundai and Nissan. They're finally putting plants on American soil. Why? Because the incentives have changed. And here's the kicker. Trump's tariffs, they're projected to generate between $300 to $600 billion a year. That's not chump change. That is not chump change at all. That's nation building capital, guys. So, and drop a 47 in the comments down below if you support President Trump's efforts here. Now, you want to talk about fairness? Let's look at the receipts. For years, we let countries like South Korea and Vietnam tax the hell out of American goods while we rolled over and smiled about it. They protected their markets. We didn't. Trump is finally saying enough is enough here. No more one-sided deals. No more elite globalist sellouts enriching themselves while our factories rot. So that brings us to the real question. Who's going to benefit from this massive wealth shift? And who's going to get crushed if they don't adapt? Well, coming up, guys, I'm going to break down exactly how that $600 billion could be used to cut your taxes, rebuild infrastructure, and help America finally escape the chokehold of globalist dependency. Now, if we can survive this next economic storm, something really positive can happen for us. Now, if you're still sitting here wondering how to protect your family from the rising costs, job instability, and the debt trap, it really starts with knowledge and community. So feel free to join us over in our Liberty Pursuit Network today and take my training. Stop paycheck to paycheck now, because when the system resets, you need a strategy not to panic. Now, what I want to share with you guys, I want to talk to you guys about stagflation, what it is, how close we are to it right now, and why this is not just an economic buzzword. It's a dangerous trap that could wipe out millions of unprepared Americans if you're not careful. Now, this is not fear, it's a fact. This is exactly what they don't want you to know. Now, let's get real, guys. Because while the media is obsessing over Biden's poll numbers and celebrity gossip, we're teetering on the edge of a financial disaster that most Americans are just not prepared for. Now, here's a term they're afraid to say out loud: stagflation. It's the triple threat. You got high inflation, rising unemployment, and no GDP growth. And when those three hit at the same time, you're not just in a recession, you're in a chokehold. Prices stay high, jobs vanish, and the economy stops breathing. Sounds familiar? Well, that's exactly what happened back in the 1970s. And right now we're seeing the signs again. The tariffs may be necessary, but if we don't manage this right, we might walk right into that same trap again. In 2022, inflation hit 9.5%, the highest in 40 years. Your groceries, your gas, your rent, everything exploded. And if it didn't come down, because of a smart leadership, it came down because families stopped spending money because they had no choice. And now with new tariffs, disrupted supply chains, and global instability, we could be right back where we started. Only this time it could be worse. Now, you probably heard it before. 2 consecutive quarters of GDP decline equals a recession, right? Well, guess what? We already flirted with that, and the Fed cannot print its way out this time. So this is why we cannot wait for CNN or MSNBC to tell us we're in a recession. By the time they admit it, it's already too late. You need to prepare now. Now, I'm going to show you guys how this economic pressure is forcing people to wake up to rethink everything from taxes to trade and how we earn, save, and build a system that's rigged against us. Now, I'm going to explain why you can't just rely on your job or your 401k or hope that things will magically go back to normal, because normal's gone. And what's coming next, you better be ready. Now, if you made it this far, you already know what time it is. Don't wait for another inflation spike. Don't get wiped out by another recession. Take action right now. Join us over in our Liberty Pursuit Network, our private community where real Americans are building side income. They're growing their savings and they're preparing for whatever comes next. Now, if you're serious about breaking free from the system, you can also grab the course, Stop Paycheck to Paycheck Now, because the best person to protect the future you is the prepared you. Now, we need to talk about this media manipulation, the biased narratives, and why you've been misled about nearly everything, including Letitia James, Tulsi Gabbard, and what this government has really been doing behind closed doors. Guys, we're going to go ahead and I want to help you see through it all. I want to help you with essentially a third eye wide open. You want to know why most people didn't see any of this coming? The Blacklist, not the TV series, The Blacklist, but the mortgage fraud, the tariffs, the recession. It's because the people who are supposed to tell the truth won't. You got networks like ABC, NBC, CBS, even Fox, Wall Street Journal, all with a slant. They're not giving you news. They're giving you narratives. Now, guys, they're going to spend like a week roasting Trump for the breath too loud, right? For breathing too loud. But here's the thing. Tulsi Gabbard, she declassifies actual proof that Americans were being surveilled and flagged as extremists for opposing mandates. Silence. And when the housing director refers Letitia James for potential mortgage fraud, they treat it like it's a political stunt, not the criminal investigation it might actually be. Now, this is how the machine works. They don't report the news. They curate the news. And they want you confused. They want you angry, distracted, and divided. But here's the truth. And I really don't care if you're red. I don't care if you're blue or somewhere in between. I just want America to win. I want you to win. I want your family to be free from surveillance, from inflation, from paycheck to paycheck slavery, and from these media lies. Now, this is not about Democrat or Republican. This is about liberty versus control. It's about sovereignty versus submission. And it's about regular Americans waking up and saying, hey, look, not anymore. Okay. So if you're watching this and you feel it, not just in your head, but in your gut too, then you already know. You were never meant to survive. You were meant to build. You were meant to lead, to prepare, to rise. So join us in our... Geez, I'm losing my voice. Join us in our Liberty Pursuit Network. This is where we connect the dots. This is where we create freedom dots, freedom plans. This is where we break free of paycheck to paycheck dependence and we stand together, because your employer could literally disrupt your family with one single decision. Are you going to wait for your employer to do that to you? And if you're ready, you can also take my course. Link in the description down below. Stop Paycheck to Paycheck Now, because the system is not going to save you, but you can save yourself. Now, next time you hear Letitia James on TV talking about justice, or you see a headline mocking Tulsi Gabbard for conspiracy theories, I want you to ask yourself, why are they so afraid of sunlight? Why do they hate the truth? Because the truth, my friends, unleashes the people. And once we're awake, they can't put us back to sleep. So the best person to take care of the old you is the young you right now. Take action, get prepared, stay free, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.